This is the video about special branching. Here is the main program we're working with. It says set the note to note 2, call subprogram 2, and exit. Well, let's go look and see what's going to happen if it calls subprogram 2. I'm going to click on subprogram 2. And in subprogram 2, we see it sets a value for X of 50, Y of 100, a color of black, a font of bold 20 points, and says print the text subprogram 2 and then go home. Well, let's execute it. Well, here's what it did. It said subprogram 2 and went home. I'm going to go back to the program. I'm going to go to the main program again. This time, instead of calling 2, which just starts at the top of subprogram 2, I'm going to tell it to go to a tab number in subprogram 2. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to go to where the tab number will be placed and say I want to go to 200. That is subprogram 2, tab 0. I'm going to replace the line with that. Now we see it says call 200, but it went to that subprogram and found there was a comment there that said for subprogram 2, tab 0. Well, that's right. We'll execute it. And it says subprogram 2, tab 0. Well, let's go to the program at subprogram 2. And down here at tab 0, it says fill at offset page B plus 34, a 48. Well, I happen to know that that's a 0. And then it goes to a subroutine. It says go to B, so B is a return register. Go to BA, return on B. Well, down here is BA. It sets X to 50, Y to 200, color black, font 420, and says the text subprogram 2, tab 0. But this 0 got placed there right here. In fact, if we go to page text and go to page B, it put the 0 here. It was just going to say subprogram 2, tab with nothing here, but we placed the 0 there when we called it. That was what we did up here by putting a 48 at page B offset 34. We go to page B, we click where that 0 is, and we see that's offset 34. Now we're going to go back to the main program again. And let's say we want to go to 201. So we click there, we highlight that, we go to 201, E, replace it, execute it. Now it says tab 1. And that is because if we go to subprogram 2, we'll see if we go to tab 1, that's right here, it's going to fill in that position 34 of 49. Which is an ASCII value of 1. Now there's also another one down here where it's going to do a 9. Well, let's do that one too. Go back to the main program. We say, okay, now go to 209. I put the 9 in there, enter it, replace it, execute it. Did everything again, but now it says subprogram 2, tab 9. We go back to the program, we go back to subprogram 2, and we see here under number 9, it fills at that place in the text on page B of 57, which is an ASCII 9. And each time it was doing this, it was going to BA and returning on B. Now let's look at that subroutine again. It's what set up the position of 50, 200, a color black, bold font, 20 points, and put the text there. The text at page B plus 15. Then it said return to B. Well, here's where it went to B, then it returned. went home, went back to the main program. Well, one thing we could look at, what is page B plus 15? Well, I can say I'm going to update that instruction and click on the 15 and look where it points, right here where it says subprogram 2, tab 9. Alright, now we're going to do another something different. Okay, we quit that. We're going to go back to the main program. Now instead of going to 209, we're going to go to 210. Notice every time we changed this, it changed what it said. The comment changed. We're going to change this to 210. And replace that. Now we're going to learn about some other special branching. I'm going to execute it. And here we see it made all these boxes. So you say, how did it do that? So we're going to go to the program. Going to go to subprogram 2. I'm going to raise this up. Click down here a couple times. Alright. Here is subprogram 10. See here it says tab 10. It starts out by filling a line with blanks and then filling it with two values, 124. That's these vertical bars. You got to understand, when it sees these vertical bars, it's going to stop a text line whenever it runs into a vertical bar. And if there's two vertical bars, it's not going to increase the value of X. That is the position moving to the right. It'll leave it stay the way it was. It will not increase it. It sets a tall and wide to 1070, color to black, a font to 4, 20 points, that's bold. And then it starts a loop over X for X of 100. And way down here, it says to get to X gets greater than 705, increasing it 300 at a time. Well, it started out at 100, that'd be good. Then it's going to be 400. Then it's going to be 700. But then when it increases, it'll be 1,000, and that'll be greater than that. Right? So if we go back and look at it, we'll see that X is 100, 400, 700, and then it stopped. Go back and we'll run the program. We'll go back to the program. After that, it says, well, take the value of X and put it into the beginning of line at offset 0. That's what this numd meant. Put the number there. Then it does it for Y. Now, Y starts here at a value of 100, and down here, next Y, it's going to go to 340, 120 at a time. So it's going to be 100, 220, 340. So it's going to go around there 3 times. Now if we execute it again, we'll see that it not only does the X value changing it 3 times going this way, but the Y value 3 times going down this way. And there we see the 100, 220, 340 each time. We go back to the program. Well, it puts Y into the line also, so you'll know what its value is, and we saw that. We saw in the red and green boxes the value for X and the value for Y. Now we're going to go on, and here it says for J of 0, and here next J 2, 2. Well, it's only going around here twice. It's going to be 0 and it's going to be 2. Right inside this loop it says skip J lines. Well, we know it's either going to skip 0 lines because J is 0, or it's going to skip 2 lines. The first time it goes in here, it's not going to skip any lines, so it's going to say color, and this is a bright red, and then go down here to CC where it fills a rectangle. Well, the other time it goes around, it's going to be 2. So it's going to skip this color, it's going to skip to go to X, and it's going to be here, and here it says color green. And it says add 70 to the X position, but later on down here it subtracts the 70 back again because it wants to maintain the position for this outer loop where it's changing X. But again, it does a fill to a rectangle. The second time it'll be green. Then it comes down here, and here's where it corrects the value of x, because it moved to the right 70 to get to do the green rectangle. Then here it's moving x value back so it'll be in line with the loop. Then it adds 30 to the position of y. Text will not be, well, its baseline will be down inside the fill rectangle, not at the top of it. So we want to move it down into the rectangle. We say its color is black now because we're going to put the text in there. Then we say print the text for the value of x and the value of y. And see, here are those two vertical bars, so it will not change the value of x. And this will also end where it's printing the text. No more text once it sees that. And here we see it correcting the y value. It said it went down to put for the baseline of the text, then it puts it right back again. So again, these values of y in these loops will not be changed. All right, we go back and we execute it. And here we see what it was doing. It was changing the value of x 3 times, the value of y 3 times. That was vertical, x is horizontal. And it was putting the value for x and y in there. This upper left-hand point here in the rectangle is 100, 100. That is 100, 220 of that point. This is 100, 340. And the last one it did was x 700, y 340. Well, it's that point there. All right. This video was about special branching.